Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to make a video today about limiting beliefs. One of the biggest things that holds people back in life is a limiting belief. And to make it very simple, what this is when you believe something so wholeheartedly in your life, but it's not necessarily true, all right? Now, just throwing it out there, a belief is normally just something that you hold to be true until it's proven false, all right? You thought Santa was real as a kid, well, you don't think Santa's real now, or maybe you still do, and I'm sorry I shattered that for you. But I want to get into this today for this video, and I actually have a guest I'm going to have on here for you who is on his way to becoming quite successful, and technically he has the world against him. So I want to share that with you. But first, a quick story. There is a woman who I've been working with. She's an aspiring model. She's done some modeling in LA, and she is now living in Connecticut. And the story of how she got here is kind of convoluted and such, but basically she went very far from where her goals actually are. And she kind of lost track of things, and she's been working very hard to save up the money to go back to LA. Well, we started talking together a little while ago, and one of the things that she had brought up is that, you know, she's exhausted all the time. She's working these 2 jobs. She's, you know, trying to save up all this money to move back to LA and all this kinds of stuff, and it's just taken a really long time. Now, I started talking to her and I said, well, listen, instead of working these 2 jobs, why don't you go and work a single job where you're making more money? And at first she started to tell me about all these reasons that this couldn't happen, which is essentially what a limiting belief is. She started telling me that she doesn't have the time to search for a new place. She started telling me that she has been trying to save up the money by working here, and that I don't really know the industry, and the only way to make a lot of money in what she's currently doing is salon work. The only way to really make money in that is to be working for a celebrity, and when it comes down to working for celebrities, it's all about connections, and she doesn't really have those, and da-da-da-da-da-da. She named all these reasons that her dream was going to take a much longer time to come true, which in all actuality is only true as much as you believe it. Now, I started thinking about what she was saying, and I said to her, first off, one of the biggest things that limits us when we say that there's no other place hiring or there's no other opportunity out there. Well, most people who say that there's no other place hiring is essentially people who they've put out maybe 2 feelers, right? They tried to reach out to this person and figure out, hey, is this place hiring? Or they tried to put an application here. They try 1 or 2 places, and then they get it in their head that no place is hiring, so they stop trying. Now, that's basically a limiting belief. You need to, if you've got a real goal in mind and a real dream, you need to keep banging on every single door that you can to make sure that you finally get to one that opens, even if they all appear closed to you. I don't care if someone turns you down for a job. Try to get back in there if it's a place that you really want to be at and interview with somebody else. Or try to basically tell them, I reject your rejection, and tell them why they're making a mistake by not hiring you. Not nasty, but you want to basically overcome anything that comes your way. So her limiting beliefs were that she lives in Connecticut, she has to pay for her bills, she has to work her way up from the bottom. I don't know how the industry works, and it's a lot tougher than I'm making it sound, and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely. But what I asked her, I said, how many people are you reaching out to a week to try to get your name out there? How's your Instagram page going? How is your Facebook profile? How many top modeling agencies have you sent your headshots to, or some of your modeling photos from when you were a little bit younger? How many people have you tried to get in contact with? If you need to find somebody to elevate your position in life, we have social media all over the place, guys. You can use Facebook or some other form of social media where there's a celebrity that's posting on there and find out what their favorite food is, or what their favorite gift would be. And then you could probably find out that person's address and send them a care package, right? And in that care package, you could give like a flash drive or something that has a bunch of information on there about you, and write them a handwritten note that basically says, listen, I'm really interested in working for you or learning from you. I would love to take you out to lunch. I'd be willing to fly myself out to wherever you'd like to meet, and I'll go out to lunch with you. And during that lunch date, if they end up liking you, you're in, right? there's so many limiting beliefs that people don't know the right people. Well, then get to know the right people, okay? It's such a common thing that I come across when I work with people, where the first thing they tell me is why they can't do such and such, but it's a completely untrue assertion, because they can do it. They just have to look at it differently. They have to try a new idea. They have to think so far out of the box, because that celebrity gets contacted constantly throughout the day. There's got to be some way, though, to stand out to them. And if you really stand out to somebody who's at a caliber that you need to get to, and it doesn't have to be a celebrity, just in this field that she's looking to get into, I mean, it'd be very helpful. If you stand out to them, you only need it to work once. Send it out to 100 people. I'm not saying send it out to one celebrity and leave it at that. Send it out to 100 celebrities, 1,000 celebrities, B-list, A-list, it doesn't matter. All you need is one person to take into consideration what you're trying to bring to the table. And then, sorry about that. I had to cut away real quick. We actually had a customer come in. I'm at my buddy's business, who's going to be joining me in a second, and I had to cut away. But the point that I'm getting at is you only need one person, all right, to be so impressed by you that they go, you know what? This person, screw the bottom, they belong at the top. You know what I mean? They've got what it takes to get there. They've got the creative mind. They've got the desire, the drive, the urge, right, to be successful. So anyways, I told her about a few things, and I said, listen, she's got some friends who are models. I said, why don't you call these friends up and see who they can get you in front of? Why don't you contact, she was hanging out with a very specific celebrity a few days ago. I said, why are you not networking with her? She tried to tell me she doesn't know who to network with, she doesn't know who to whatever. These people are all around us at all times. Regardless of what you want to get into, you've got to know somebody in the jurisdiction that you can use to help to elevate yourself, right? So anyways, after speaking with her, she is moving to California, and she's moving in 3 months. We had this conversation basically a few hours ago, and she got on the phone and she started calling everybody that she knew. She started using all the stuff that I had given her, because all I give people are tools, all right? Everybody's got their greatness already within them, and without the limiting beliefs, by removing those limiting beliefs and saying, you know what, I can make this happen. And it's a complete mind shift. She got in contact with a guy who she's actually known for a very, very long time, and he's heading down to California to open up a salon down there or something along those lines, and she's going to go with him and work at his salon and get her in down there and try to work her way up more in the environment where her type of industry is going to be supported. So the guy I wanted to have on the show is basically, he is a buddy of mine, and one of the limiting beliefs that people constantly bring up is when they have kids. People like to, leave me comments or shoot me a message saying, my advice is really great, but there's always the but, most powerful word in the English language, but I have kids, or I have a house, or I have a big car payment, or da-da-da-da, all this stuff. Well, the guy I'm going to have on here in a second has 2 children. He gave up his house. He gave up his nicer vehicles, and he now drives a truck that you probably would think is falling apart or even condemned, but he's making it happen. In fact, he moved into his business with his daughters, all right? Basically, the mindset that he had was of a champion. He doesn't care what the adversity is. He doesn't care what the challenge is. He meets the challenge that comes his way, and he overcomes it with 2 daughters and with an ex-woman that he was involved with, and a lot of other personal things that go on in his life and such. He's making it happen. So I want to have him on here to personally tell you a little bit about his story and how he's making this happen, because this is stuff that's important for people to realize, that people are doing this all around you. And for somebody to say like, I have a kid and I can't do this, well, this guy's pulling out all the stops and he's able to do it. So here he is.